How is your personal narrative instruction going in your classroom right now? Hopefully your students are collecting their ideas, generating leads, and jumping into the writing process. However, we know personal narratives, while satisfying, are really challenging to teach, which is why we're sharing some of our favorite tips and tricks to help you tackle some of the most challenging topics under that umbrella of writing a personal narrative. Today we're going to talk about what I think is one of the most important set of lessons you're going to cover with your students, all about adding details to their writing. Let's get started. The biggest piece of advice that I can give you for teaching your students to add details to their personal narratives is to take as many days for this as you can. I think a lot of times we try and give a ton of information to our students in our writing lessons, and then they're overwhelmed, they don't know where to start, they don't know which strategy to pick. That's why we think the mini lesson is a really powerful structure for that writer's workshop. When you're only focusing on one strategy at a time, it means your students have more of an opportunity to master and apply that strategy in their own writing. So instead of just doing one day all about all the ways your students can add details, we suggest taking a few days and focusing on a few different strategies over the course of those days. Start with nouns, then move on to how they can add adjectives to describe the places in their stories. This is going to help your students master this skill in a really easy way. Using a mentor text in a writing lesson is also one of my favorite tips because it's exposing your students to real samples of text that are modeling the skills you want them to then be able to do. By using a mentor text and going through and finding that detail adding element your lesson is focusing on that day, students are seeing what descriptive nouns look like in context, what strong adverbs look like in context. That's why I love to start these detail lessons by using a mentor text for my students to refer to. My next suggestion is to anchor their learning. You know, I love the use of an anchor chart in the classroom, and I love student-friendly versions that go in their journals even more. By giving students examples and then having them write them down, it's helping to cement for them what those details can look and sound like in a personal narrative. I want to give them examples that are easy for them to understand so they can then take that learning and apply it to their own personal narrative. Last but certainly not least is giving them time to write. After I've taught my mini lesson all about how they can go through and use their nouns to add more details, I'm then going to give them time to do that in their personal narrative that they have been working on. They're going to follow the same steps of my mini lesson. They're going to practice underlining the nouns and thinking about what they could add to make it a richer detail in their story. This is a time when I like to support students who need that extra help from me to do this skill, and it's so fun to see my students who are ready to apply it take off as writers in the classroom during this independent writing time. Taking these lessons for details and stretching them out across multiple days, choosing just one skill to focus on at a time, giving a mentor text, an anchor chart, real-world examples, and then time to apply it. All of these strategies are things that are going to help your students be able to add details to those personal narratives. It's going to make their writing richer, and it's going to make them stronger writers across the board. If you're looking for any of the resources I shared in this quick tip video today, they're all from our third grade personal narrative unit. However, we do have personal narrative units for every grade level. We have entire year-long writing bundles for grades 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is one of my favorite places to pull those resources from because I know they're going to be easy for me to use and easy for my students to use as well. If you're looking for more content specifically about personal narratives, check it out. We have a whole series about this right now, where every week I'm sharing our favorite tips and tricks to help you teach personal narratives in your classroom. If you aren't already subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. We put out new content here every single week, and hanging out with you guys on YouTube is one of my favorite ways I get to spend my time. I hope personal narratives continue to go well in your classroom, and I hope you have a not so wimpy day. Bye!